The first lick of this solo uses the G minor pentatonic scale in 15th position, and it goes like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Little tremolo bar action here. So I'm starting off on the 15th fret of the high E string, pulling off 18 to 15 on the B string, bending up a whole step, 17 on the G string, and then grabbing 15 B, 15 high E, back to 15 on the B string, and then I'm going to bend up a whole step from the 18th fret of the B string 2 times. Now I'm going to grab the 18th fret of the B string once again, this time with my 4th finger, and I'm going to do a pre-bend from the 17th fret of the G string. So I'm going to bend up a whole step, strike the note, release the bend, do that again, but this time pull off to the 15th fret and then pull off to the open G string and dive with the tremolo bar. And another interesting thing about this lick is that it's syncopated. We're going to start on the and of 1. We're not going to start on the downbeat of 1, but we're going to start on the and of 1. So in context, if I count you in, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Let's take a look now at the second lick of this solo. I'll play through it and then we'll learn it slowly. So this lick might be my favorite of the entire DVD. This is something that's heavily borrowed from Deep Purple's Lazy. We're still in the key of G, but we're playing in an unusual position, and we're having a few unusual notes as well, but this all seems to work quite well in context. I'm going to be playing triplets here, starting off 5, 6, 5, hammer-on and pull-off on the G string, followed by 8 to 5 on the D string, 8 on the A string. So those are triplets. We have a 6-note phrase, 2 sets of triplets, you could say. We're going to play those 6 notes 5 times. Now I'm going to do the same idea, but this time starting on the D string. 5, 6, 5, 8, 5 on the A, followed by 8 on the low E string. We'll do that 1 time only. And now to the A string, 5, 6, 5. Once again, that's a hammer-on and a pull-off. And then we're going to play 8, 6, 5, slide back to 3 on the low E string. So let's put that all together now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'll play through the third lick of this solo. So this idea combines the G blues scale with some chromatic notes at the end, something Richie Blackmore does really well, adding chromaticism into his playing. So we're going to start off down in first position here. I'm going to play on the low E string, 1 to 3. Now to the A string, 1, 3, 4, slide to 5. D string, 3, 5. G string, 3, 5, 6, slide to 7. Followed by the B string, 6 to 8. Now to the high E string, 6, 8, 9. That note D flat right there we could consider to be from the G blues scale, but now I'm going to start with some chromatic notes. 10th fret on the E string, 11th fret, 12th fret, 13th fret, 14, and back to our root note G on the 15th fret. So if we put all of that together in context, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in true Blackmore fashion, I'm playing those chromatic notes very staccato. Very short notes. Now we're up to the fourth lick of the solo, and at this point we're into the B section of the jam track. I'm going to start by playing a G minor 7 arpeggio over the G minor chord that occurs at this part of the jam track. And the lick sounds like this. So here I'm introducing the concept of sweep picking. Sweep picking is when you move the pick in one direction across a set of strings. I'm going to play 12 on the G string, 11 B, 10 on the high E string, and I'm going to strum downwards towards the floor for all three of those strings. Now with an upstroke, I'm going to play on the 13th fret of the high E string and then pull off to the 10th fret, followed by an upstroke on the 11th fret of the B string. So here I'm playing triplets, so we have a total of 6 notes for this arpeggiated shape. And I'm going to play those 6 notes 4 times. The next chord in the song is E flat, and for this chord all I'm going to do is, rather than playing F on top, on the 13th fret of the high E string, I'm going to stretch up with my 4th finger and grab the 15th fret of the high E string. So I'm actually playing a G minor arpeggio, but it sounds great over the E flat chord at this point. So here I'm playing 12 on the G, 11 on the B, 10 on the high E, 15 to 10 on the high E, followed by 11 on the high E string. And same right hand picking pattern here. I'm going to do those 6 notes 3 times. And then I'm going to end this on the 12th fret of the G string. And this gives me a little bit of time to shift positions to play our next arpeggio, which is F major. So let's review what we've done so far for this arpeggiated section. Our next chord is F, so we're going to outline an F major arpeggio with 3 notes, F, A, and C, starting off on the 10th fret of the G string, followed by 10 on the B, 8 on the high E string. Now I'm going to grab 13 on the high E, pull off to 8, back to 10 on the B string. Same right hand picking pattern for this sweep picking technique. So I'll play this phrase 4 times. These 6 notes will be played 4 times. Now I'm going to switch up the rhythm a little bit. When I play over the D chord now, I'm going to start off with 8th notes. And this phrase sounds like this. Starting off on the 11th fret of the G string, 10 on the B, 10 on the high E. That's just outlining a D major triad right there. Now I'm going to grab 14 on the high E, hammer on and pull off 10, 14, 10. Back to 10 on the B string, 11 on the G, 10 on the B, 10 on the high E, back to 10 on the B, 11 on the G, 12 on the D string. Now back to triplets. I'm going to outline an E flat major arpeggio. It's going to sound like this. "15 on the G string, 16 on the B, 15 on the high E, 18 pull off to 15 on the high E, back to 16 on the B string. Same sweep picking technique. And I'll do this 6-note pattern 4 times. Now I'm going to outline C minor. Starting off on the 17th fret of the G string, 16 on the B, 15 on the high E, pull off 20 to 15 on the high E string, back to 16 on the B, play those 6 notes 3 times. And finally land on 17 on the G string. That's the root note C. Okay, a lot of notes. Why don't we go back now and review what we've done so far for this arpeggiated section. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. At this point of the song, I'm playing over a D major chord. So what I'm going to do is some descending sweep arpeggios outlining a D major triad. These are all inversions of a D chord. It sounds like this. So in a D major chord, we have 3 notes, D, F sharp, and A. So I'm playing only those 3 notes. I'm going to start off on the 19th fret of the G string, followed by 19 on the B, 15 to 20 on the high E. And with the right hand, I'm going to pick down, 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 up. Once again. Now I'm going to shift positions, but I'm still going to play a D major arpeggio. 14 on the G string, 15 B, 14, 17 on the high E string. Same right hand, down, 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 up. Now I'm going to shift positions, 11 on the G string, 10 on the B, 10 on the high E, 14 on the high E. Now I'm going to shift positions once again, still outlining D major. 7th fret on the G string, 7 on the B, 5 to 10 on the high E string. So we have 4 inversions of this D major shape. And to finish off this idea, here I'm going to pull off 5 to 2 on the high E string, play 3 on the B, 2 on the high E, 3 on the B, now pull off 2 to the open G string, followed by 4 on the D string. Repeat those 3 notes. Repeat them again, followed by 2 pull off to the open G string. And then we'll be into our next idea. So here's the phrase that we've just learned. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're at the point of the jam track where we have 2 chords in each measure, G minor to C minor, and here's the lick I'm going to play over this section. So the first 3 notes of this triplet phrase starts off 3rd fret of the G string to the open G string. That's going to be a pull off, and then I'm going to play the note G on the 5th fret of the D string. So I play the note G 2 times, once open, once on the 5th fret of the D string. Now I'll pull off 5 to the open G, followed by 5 on the D string. And I'm going to do these 6 notes a total of 4 times. For the final lick of this B section, I'm going to play over a D major chord. I'm going to use the open D string along with some chromatic notes at the end, and this leads into the solo section. So I'm going to end on the note A, which is where the next section of the song begins. So these are 8th notes, and the lick goes like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to start off open D string, followed by 4th fret to the 5th fret, open string, 5th fret, 7th fret, open 7, 8, open 8, 10, open 10 to 12, open 12 to 13. Here I'm going to continue chromatically, open 13, 14, open 14, 15, open 15 to 16, open 16 to 17, and the final 3 notes on the G string, 14, 15, 14. So once again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that little chromaticism at the end is very Blackmore-esque, especially in a song like Highway Star. If you listen to that solo, he does some really great chromatic open string passages. So I've taken the idea and ran with it there. So there's that lick. Why don't we go back now and play over the first section and the B section, and then we'll pick it up and learn the solo section. Okay, so let's take it from the beginning of this solo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So now we're up to what I would consider to be the solo section of the jam track. And here we're going to modulate up a whole step to the key of A. And we're going to start off with some tremolo picking. Tremolo picking is where we simply let the right hand pick as fast as possible, not really counting out whether we're playing 16th notes or whether we're playing triplets, but just kind of going for it with the right hand. So the first phrase we're going to do sounds like this. So here I'm going to start off on the note A, 14th fret of the G string. I'll play that for 1 beat before moving into the tremolo picking, which will last for a total of 2 measures. So an additional 7 beats, in other words, with the tremolo picking. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now, while I continue that tremolo picking, I'm going to show you the notes with the left hand. So first I'll show it without the tremolo picking, and then we'll add that to it. So I'm going to play 12, 14, 12 on the G string, 10, 12, 10, 9, 10, 9, 7, 9, 7, 5, 7, 5, 4, 5, 4. And here I'm going to hammer on and pull off 2, 4, 2 to the open string, 2 pull off to the open string, and then end this phrase on the 2nd fret of the G string. So I just descended the A minor scale. Now with the tremolo picking, here's how it would sound. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. moving on to the next lick. Sounds like this. So here I'm using sweep picking, and I'm outlining an A minor arpeggio. Starting off in 12th position, 14 on the G, 13B, 12 on the high E. And then I'm going to grab 17 on the high E string. That's a root note A. The picking with the right hand will be down, 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 up. Okay, so we're going to do that one time. Total of 4 notes. Now shifting positions, I'm going to outline A minor once again, but here we're going to start on the 9th fret of the G string, 10 on the B string, 8 to 12 on the high E. Same right hand pattern, down, 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 up. Now I'm going to shift positions one more time. Also outlining an A minor triad here. I'm going to play 5 on the G, 5 on the B, 5 on the high E, followed by 8 on the high E string, 5 on the high E string, 5 on the B string. So here the picking is down, 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 up, down, up. So if we put all of that together. The next lick features a really cool percussive trick that I'm going to show you with the right hand. It sounds like this. So this idea starts off with a unison bend. While holding the 5th fret of the B string, I'm going to bend from the 7th fret of the G string up a whole step into that same pitch, which in this case is E. So this lick features this really cool percussive trick. I'm first going to show it to you without the left hand because the technique is all in the right hand or in the picking hand. First, what we're going to do is we're going to hold the G string with the middle finger. You're just going to touch the G string with the middle finger. And then with the pick, I'm going to strike the string. So in this case, we're going to strike the string with the pick, but because the middle finger is touching the G string, we're not going to hear the pitch. It's going to just create a percussive effect. After striking the string with the pick, I'm then going to use my middle finger to actually play the note. So we have 2 things going on. First, we play muted, and then we use the middle finger to play the note. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And if we apply that with some left-hand notes, and in this case what I'm doing is I'm going to do a pre-bend of a whole step from the 7th fret of the G string, and then I'm going to strike that a total of 7 times before releasing the bend. Now pull off to the 5th fret, followed by the 7th fret of the D string, 5, 7 on the G, another pre-bend here from the 7th fret of the G, strike the note, release the bend, pull off to the 5th fret of the G string, back to the 7th fret of the G string. Very cool trick right there. You want to try and create a really percussive sound. And if you slow the tempo down as you're doing that lick, it really adds extra emphasis to it. And this was played over a D minor chord. The next chord of the jam is E, and here's the next lick. All played on the high E string, open 4 to 5, open 5, 7, open 7, 8, open 8 to 10, open 10 to 12, open 12 to 13, open 13 to 16, open 16 to 17, open 17 to 19, and when I get to the 19th fret, I'll bend up a half step and back down. And here's the final lick of the solo. This is played over an E chord. I'm going to play a G sharp diminished arpeggio here to start off this lick, which is something that works great. It's based off of the harmonic minor scale. So I don't want to drown you in the theory, but at this point of the solo, because I'm in the key of A minor, when I get to this E major chord, I can play the A harmonic minor scale. And this is an arpeggio that is from the A harmonic minor scale. So here's the first piece of this final lick. 16 to 13 on the high E string, 15 on the B string, 16, 13 on the G, 15 on the D, 13, 16 on the G. So far we've done this. Now I'm going to do the exact same phrase, same lick, but I'm going to move it down 3 frets. That's one of the beauties of this diminished arpeggio. It's symmetrical. If I repeat the same fingering every 3 frets, we're playing inversions of this arpeggio. So here I played 13 to 10 on the high E string, 12 on the B, 13 to 10 on the G, 12 on the D, 10, 13 on the G. Here's what we've done so far now. And the final piece of this solo. Starting off on the high E string, hammer on and pull off, 4, 7, 4 to the open string, 6, 5, 6 on the B, 7, 4 on the G, followed by 6 D. Back to 7 on the G string, 4, 7, 4, hammer on and pull off, 6 on the D, 8, 5 on the A, and I end on the note G, 5th fret of the D string, because at this point of the jam track we go back to the intro, which is in G. So here's the entire final lick. Okay, so let's go back now from the beginning of this solo section where we move to the key of A and put all of these phrases together. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. All right, well that's a lot of licks. If you put them all together, that gives you solo number 2. Have some fun with it.